Darling, before you scroll past and leave this unspoken, lend your heart to these words, even for a fleeting moment. There was a time when your name was the softest hymn my soul would sing at midnight, when the wind whispered stories of you through my window, and every silence was filled with memories of your laughter. I've stitched this video with the threads of aching truth, woven it with the fragile strands of hope still tangled in my chest. If there's even a flicker of you left in this fire we once lit, please, don't look away. I remember how your eyes once held galaxies, vast and filled with secrets only I was allowed to discover. The way your smile fell like sunrise on my coldest mornings, it made the world pause and bow in reverence. But now, I speak to a silence that echoes deeper than distance, and I wonder, are you still watching from the shadows, pretending not to care, or has your heart turned to stone completely? This is not just a video, it's a cry in the wilderness, a flare sent to find the shipwrecked piece of you still tethered to me. Each frame is soaked in the weight of everything unsaid, every beat a reminder of our once forever. I walk through memories like a ghost in an abandoned home, touching the walls we built with laughter, listening for the echo of our promises. My voice is not polished for pity, nor scripted for sympathy, it trembles because it's real. I am standing here, not to blame, not to beg, but to bare my soul in case yours still listens. Do you remember the rain? How it never drowned us but only made us dance closer. Love like that doesn't vanish, it buries itself beneath pride, fear, and the sharp edges of goodbye. I am not here to force the past upon your present, but if even a single heartbeat still whispers my name, don't let this plea dissolve in your silence. Watch with the eyes of who you once were. Feel with the heart that once called me home. Maybe I was not perfect, maybe I spoke too loud when I should have listened, maybe I held on too tight or let go too soon. But love, if it ever meant something, then don't turn away from this now. This video is not a trap of nostalgia, it's a mirror. I want you to see what still breathes between us. The pauses, the glances, the little things you think I forgot. I remember everyone, and they still bloom in my chest like stubborn springtime. If this finds you in a better place, where smiles come easier and my name no longer stings, I'm glad. Truly. But if there's even a thread of S left in your midnight thoughts, don't ignore this. Let it move through you. Let it stir something quiet. Let it ache if it must, because pain only follows what mattered. I'm not asking for forever. I'm asking for your truth. The world doesn't see how I whisper your name into poems no one reads, or how my hands still search for yours in crowded rooms. They don't see how I replay your laughter like a sacred song. But you knew the rhythm of my heart. You knew the way I collapsed into your arms like they were made of mercy. This is not a plea for return. This is a requiem for what we lost, and a prayer for what might still breathe beneath the ashes. I've unwrapped every wound in this message, hoping you'll see more than pixels. This isn't about the past alone, it's about the now, the still possible. We were thunder and softness, storm and shelter. And if your silence is only a shield, let this video be the gentle knock that says, I'm still here. If you are too, open the door. I made this not to haunt you, but to hold you once more, if only for a minute. If only through a screen. If this voice reminds you of warm nights and secret wishes, don't push it away. Sometimes love doesn't scream. It waits quietly, hoping you'll lean in close enough to hear its trembling breath. That's what this is. A whisper. A chance. A question wrapped in courage. Maybe you've moved on, maybe this will be nothing more than background noise, but if there's even a flicker, a heartbeat, a sigh that still carries my name, I beg you to feel this. Not for me, for the memory of what we built, and the miracle that it once was. Don't let it all slip through your fingers like it never mattered. If you still care, even a little, then let this be your sign to pause. And if this is the last thing you ever hear from me, then let it echo long after it ends. I loved you wildly, deeply, endlessly. I still do in ways too quiet for the world but too loud for my own bones. So darling, if you still care, don't ignore this video. Let it be the light that finds you in the dark. Let it be the truth you never stop needing to hear. Let it be us, one last time. Darling, if you're still watching, still breathing in the spaces between my words, then maybe there's hope yet. Maybe the threads that once bound us haven't completely unraveled. I know life moves forward, I know people change, but feelings like ours don't just dissolve into dust. They echo. They wait. They linger in the most unexpected places, like the smell of jasmine at twilight, or an old song on the radio that makes your chest tighten without warning. This video is more than pixels and sound. It's a living memory, reaching for the part of you that still remembers what it meant to be us. Sometimes I wonder if you feel it too. That sudden drop in your chest when a stranger's voice almost sounds like mine. Or when the evening sky burns with the same golden hue that once wrapped around us during those quiet, stolen moments. Love, the universe is not cruel. It leaves reminders for those willing to see them. And maybe this, right now, is one of them. Maybe this message is the universe tugging gently at your sleeve, saying, "Look, they're still waiting. I never knew silence could be this loud, this cruel." It's like screaming underwater, so much to say, and yet the world hears nothing. But you always knew how to listen with your soul. That's what made you different. That's what made you mine. If you still care, if there's still a flicker of that divine connection between us, let it rise. Let it fight against the tide of forgetting. Let it breathe again, if only in this moment we now share through a screen. We used to laugh like the world didn't matter, like time would always wait for us. But the clock is heartless, and we let the seconds pass without knowing they were stealing our forever. I would give anything to hold those moments again, to watch the way your eyes lit up when you spoke of your dreams, to feel your hand find mine without needing to ask. Those simple gestures, they were everything. And though the world may call this madness, I know what I felt. I know what we had. And I won't let it vanish without leaving. There's a storm inside me tonight, raging with all the words I never got to say. Not because I was afraid, but because I thought we had more time. But time isn't generous. It's a thief dressed in silence. And so, I pour it all into this message, every drop of love, every tear I never let fall in front of you. Maybe it's too late. Maybe you've closed the door. But if you haven't, even a crack, this is me reaching through it, offering a part of myself I never gave to anyone else. Even now, I see you in everything. The coffee cup I cradle in the morning. The songs I skip because they cut too deep. The empty side of the bed that still waits for your warmth. You are in the rhythm of my day and the ache of my night. And though I pretend sometimes, just to get by, there's not a single hour that passes without your name written quietly across it. If you still care, then hear me. This love hasn't died. It's just been waiting for the right moment to rise again. I know this isn't easy. I know wounds take time, and healing wears many faces. I don't ask for promises or poetry in return. I only ask that you let your heart listen, not just your mind. Because love, real love, is not logical. It's wild. It's reckless. It dives before it measures the depth. That's what we were. That's what we could still be. If you feel even a glimmer of what once was, then don't let fear build the walls between us. I wonder if you remember the sound of my voice, not just the words, but the tone that trembled when I said your name. The way I spoke to you like a prayer, like a secret the universe had only trusted me to keep. That kind of devotion doesn't fade. It gets buried beneath pride and time, yes, but it never truly dies. It waits. And if you're still watching, then maybe it's your heart whispering back, I never stopped listening. Sometimes, love needs no grand declarations. It just needs a moment of courage. A moment where the past isn't an enemy, but a reminder of everything we survived to find each other in the first place. If you still care, don't let this be another memory you pack away and forget. Let it be the thread that leads you back, not to who we were, but to who we can still become, together, wiser and stronger. This video isn't closure, it's a beginning disguised as a goodbye. A way of saying, here I am, still open, still willing. And if your heart has been aching in silence, waiting for a sign, let this be it. Let this be the whisper that breaks the dam. We don't have to start where we ended. We can begin where we are, flawed, bruised, but still burning with the same fire that brought us together. So darling, if you've made it this far, if your heart has stayed soft enough to feel, then don't turn away. Don't let this love become another, what if? We have lost time, yes, but we haven't lost everything. Let this video be the hand that reaches across the void, the bridge between then and now. Let it remind you that someone, somewhere, still believes in the beauty of us. And if this is truly the end, if your heart is elsewhere and I am but a flicker in your past, then thank you. Thank you for the love that changed me. Thank you for the memories that still hold me. But if there's even one more story left in us, if there's still magic between the cracks, then please, don't ignore this. Don't let love be silenced. Listen. Remember. And, maybe, come home. I've wondered 1,000 times what I'd say if I ever had the chance to reach you like this, to speak not through bitter goodbyes or empty air, but through something real, something vulnerable, something unafraid. And now, here it is, my heart exposed, raw and trembling, beating beneath every word. I'm not here to rewrite the past. I'm here to honor it, to say that it mattered, that you mattered, more than I ever had the strength to say when we were standing face to face. And maybe that's the tragedy of love, we only learn its depth when distance teaches us what closeness cost us to forget. There are nights I dream of you without warning. Your name slips through my sleep like a song I used to know by heart. I wake up clutching air, searching for your warmth, only to be met by the hollow silence of the dark. And still, I rise. Still, I whisper your name to the morning. Because there's a stubborn piece of me, the purest part, that believes not all stories are meant to end in silence. That sometimes, the people who walk away are just waiting for a sign to return. Maybe this is that sign. Maybe this is the moment the universe chose for our hearts to listen again. I've learned that time doesn't erase love, it just teaches us how to carry it differently. I carry you like a secret pressed between the pages of every chapter I write, like a scar that doesn't ache but never quite disappears. The world keeps spinning. People move on. But there's a rhythm I still feel that doesn't belong to anyone but you. And though I've tried to quiet it with logic, with distraction, with forced smiles and half-healed wounds, nothing has ever silenced it, not completely. Because love like this leaves echoes that outlast the storms. If this message reaches you on a day when your heart is tired, when the world feels too loud, and everything inside you just wants to be understood, then let me be that moment of peace. Let me be the reminder that you were once loved wholly, wildly, without condition. And you still are. Not because I'm holding on to a dream, but because some souls are simply written into each other's stories, whether or not the world understands why. Ours was a fire that didn't burn, it illuminated. It made everything feel like it had meaning. And if that light still flickers in your chest, even faintly, then don't turn away. So if you're here, and you've heard this all with eyes that blink back tears, or a heart that's racing even though it told itself it moved on, then please, listen one last time. I am not the same as I was when you left, but the love I carry has only deepened with the lessons I've learned. I've grown, I've broken, I've healed. But in all of that, you've remained my quiet constant. So don't ignore this video. Don't ignore what we once were. Don't ignore what we could still be. Because sometimes, love doesn't ask for a second chance, it simply waits until